I wanted to start off by just briefly introducing myself and thank you for being here. My name is Craig Rice. I'm the Montgomery County Council member representing District 2. I'm very happy to now be here with the former mayor of Gaithersburg and now current county council member for District 3 and my good friend Sydney Katz. And I had an opportunity being born and raised here to really give back to my community. And one of the things that I love is being a part of this Montgomery County Council. You know, when you hear about the dedication that people have when it comes to serving our communities and really trying to make our communities a better place, this man here, Councilmember Katz, is an amazing, amazing person because it takes a lot. It requires a lot of sacrifice, but it's worth it because at the end of the day, we know that we all together are making this a better place. And so that means that you engaged with us are going to help to keep pushing us to achieve a better community.
And I have to tell you that to be in agriculture is not the easiest job. There's no holidays if you're raised, especially if you're raising cattle or livestock. And it's a 365-day year job. If you're milking, it's twice a day, and that cow lets you know exactly when, or you don't have to wait for it to nose. Anyhow, we thank you all for doing what you're doing. You don't get enough applause, that's for sure. One
of the unique things that some folks are doing in other parts of the country that we're now looking at, and you just saw us do a little tweak with some of our regulations, is actually looking at produce food trucks, especially into neighborhoods where they don't have access to a lot of fresh produce, and bring that to different neighborhoods. So that's an option that we've seen that other jurisdictions have done, and quite successfully, and so we're looking at that model.
About the fire station, Trevilla Station 32, which I guess is our newest station, and we're building or rebuilding another one as we speak. And I'm going to ask the fire chief if he would please join me.
Opened in the February of 2014 timeframe, and I don't want to say overnight, but it looked that way to the guys and gals that worked there. They became very busy. That for every 3 calls they go on, they miss a call. Meaning they're unavailable for an emergency because they're already engaged in one. That's how busy that component of West Rockville and the lower parts of the Trevilla area are. Station 32, as well as all the stations in both of your districts, provide a great deal of service.
I can't tell you how much it matters to have men and women that are willing to put their lives on the line for us each and every day. And I just want to say thank you to the men of 31 and 32 for what they do, but all of our fire and rescue and our police. Feeling of being safe is all a part of that allows us to be able to feel comfortable to do the things that we do. Without you guys, our community wouldn't be the great place it is to live. So thank you. Thank you, sir.
On a national level, there's an awful lot of tension between police departments and communities. How would you assess the state of affairs in Montgomery County?
In Montgomery County, I'm not saying this to be biased, but we have an outstanding relationship. I hope you guys feel the same way with the community.
We put a lot of, effort into working in partnership with the community, and it's the feedback that we get from you guys letting us know how we're doing.
We have different liaison groups that come out every month, and we, Latino, African American, if you want to come to you don't have to be that group to come to the meeting. You're welcome to come at any time.
I always go up to guys in uniform, whether it's a police officer, fireman, or a military person, and thank them for their service. As I think it's important as parents, if you can take a 7-year-old and have them walk up and shake the hands of a police officer, that'll take the wall away. Then when they need a police officer, they'll feel more comfortable coming forward and talking and communicating.
We encourage people to just talk and be neighborly, right? So as you talk to your neighbors and you talk to folks, the more we know each other and we know about habits, we know what's going on in our community, the better when we'll see something that's out of the ordinary and something that's out of the norm. One of the things that we heard from you as a part of our capital improvements program was about the fact that you didn't have a community center. We are very happy to say that this project is almost 60% complete and will be completed by the spring of next year. You're looking at an almost 50,000 square foot facility that's going to have everything from a gymnasium to exercise room, social hall, kitchen, lounge area, arts room, all these great resources that will be there for the community. community.
And if those of you interested in the outlet mall, that it's going to be 90 stores that'll be there, and restaurants and outdoor facilities for the families and whatnot. This will be open in 1 year. They need to do it for the Christmas selling season for next year. So there's supposedly going to be a ribbon cutting in October of next year. It really should be a very nice addition for Montgomery County.
The Great Seneca Science Corridor, when I talk about economic development, when I talk about jobs, when I talk about life sciences, the lifeblood of the I-270 corridor, it's real. When you look at Kaigen, when you look at MedImmune, when you look at all the great things that are happening in this up-county area when it comes to bio and life sciences, there's a great opportunity for us, but it's got to be right. Of course, we're here at Quince Orchard, and so I want to recognize our host for the evening, Principal Working. Thank you very much for opening your doors to us. Our school system is challenged with trying to do more with less. And we've been hand in hand in advocating for more additional resources from the state when it comes to school construction, because we can't do it all on our own. Many of you know about the overcrowding at Rachel Carson, and it's concerning. It's really concerning because the reality is what impact is that having on our kids and their ability to be able to learn at that top-notch level. And so with the Brown Station Elementary School Revitalization Project, and while that certainly will help, the reality is that it's not going to get us where we need to be in terms of truly addressing the overcrowding that we're seeing at Rachel Carson. There will be something else that needs to be done. At this point, we're not going to get additional money from the state. In fact, and this is important to know, in fact, they also said that they had made errors in terms of how they evaluated individual projects, and so they'd actually be allocating additional money for those particular projects. That's concerning. And it really is when we're facing the challenges that we have with Rachel Carson in elementary school with 1,046 kids, multiple portables, multiple lunch cycles. This can't continue to happen. So questions about this particular? Yes, sir.
The superintendent came out saying that the only viable solution was to take the kids from Rachel Carson and move them to Fife, not the other issues. And second is, no, I'm not concerned about boundary changes, but those students, where would they go next? Is the middle school crowded?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Superintendent said this is the one that he's recommending to the board, but keep in mind that doesn't mean that that's the final fait accompli. And I understand that the superintendent's looking at it from budget constraints and all kinds of other things as well, and that's certainly understandable, but we as a county also understand the challenges that this cluster is facing right now, and it's really gotten to a breaking point.
The Public Service Training Academy, the fire tower area, is scheduled for 2,000 apartments, and that's in the Wooten School District. And then also on Trevilla Road, there were supposed to be 300 apartments, but that's been cut down to a number of townhouses. So are those projects going to go ahead even though the schools are bursting at the seams?
Are we going to allow those projects to move forward when we have this severe overcrowding? So here's the thing. For us, we have been looking at ways in which we can do more to ensure that development actually pays for the impact that we see on our infrastructure as a whole. The reality is that while we're seeing it and we can easily quantify what those numbers are when it comes to our schools, it's actually affecting everything. It's affecting the use of our libraries, it's affecting public safety calls, it's affecting all of those things that we provide as services. And so we need to figure out if we're getting the right amount from development when it comes to answering the call of delivering on services to our constituents. I personally, as an individual council member, don't feel as though those formulas are doing us justice anymore. They're antiquated in some instances, and I'm really pushing for us to look at new ways in which we can garner additional money, because the reality is if I can get the money to pay for a new school or land dedicated for a new school, then I've solved my problem.
We received over 700 illegal immigrant children last year into our county school system. Has there been any consideration to suing the U.S. government for the cost of those children, which would be about $1 million a head?
We don't ask for citizenship. It's illegal for us to do so. We can't ask for citizenship within our school system. What we do is we try and educate every child. That's the best benefit for us as a community. When we deny access to children in education, we all lose. Look, it's something that the nation is grappling with, and it's certainly something that we need to try and figure out a comprehensive immigration policy that's going to work best for us as not just a community, but us as a nation, and figure out the best ways in which we can move forward.
It's 180 acres. Obviously, many of you, I'm sure, have been there. It's quite an active place. It ultimately will have 2,200 homes, and it involves, well, it's literally 5 neighborhoods. One neighborhood actually is City Park, and it's the first time in the history of Montgomery County where a high school site, it's 33 plus acres, was actually donated at no cost to the county or Montgomery County Public Schools for a high school site. That doesn't mean that the county has the money to build the high school, but it's a free site when the money is available. First time that ever happened.
Keep in mind that when you're talking about the commercial development that's there, that's growing jobs. Montgomery County is transitioning from where we were before, being a sleepy bedroom suburb where we all went into the city, to us actually wanting to live and work in the same place. And so, having great opportunities like this to where we can expand commercial development, office space, because everybody thinks that the only jobs that are there are just working in restaurants, but there are plenty of office spaces that are in there as well, professional offices, to where folks are setting up small businesses, which are the lifeblood of business in Montgomery County, and become an economic engine. That's a great plus for us, and those people are commuting shorter commutes than what they were doing before.
Very concerned about the plans to fund the $700 million project called Corridor Cities Transitway, right? We believe that that's very poorly designed, that it's not cost effective. So there's $700 million there that the council insists is going to be somehow funded that could much better be used to improve these schools.
Likelihood of us moving forward with CCT anytime soon without an influx of cash from both our federal partners and the state is very unlikely. I support a bus rapid transit system that would get people from very quickly from one place to another, going north to south instead of north, east, west, back and forth, up north, back down before going south. So I don't think I can be a little bit more clear about where I am.
In 2035, there's going to be other issues that need to be faced, and we have to plan for them today. I mean, I was here when 70S was built, and everybody said that nobody was going to use it, and plenty of people do today.
So we have a problem right now in our schools with overcrowding that we're going to deal with sometime in the future. And you're saying, well, in 30 years, we might need the CCT, so let's build it in 3 years. And I think that is really...
And we can disagree with the numbers, but what do the numbers show today, and what do the numbers show for the projections, and what happens when the numbers, if this development happens and if that development happens. And then we'll have a better understanding. But to say that we shouldn't have additional transportation opportunities, I think we need them. I just question what we need.
Thank you to all of you for being here. We encourage you to continue to be involved with our offices. All of our contact information is there. We had a great evening, as always, with very engaged questions. And always, please feel free to reach out to us and remain contacted. So thank you very much. Drive safe.
Good job. It was fun. You've done a good job. Yeah.